evening and welcome. There have been some dramatic leads from last month's programme, and some of the inquiries are now said to be at an extremely sensitive stage. And we had a remarkably strong response, including an immediate arrest, after the special programme we put out 2 weeks ago, Unsolved Cases from the Past.
The best and most surprising new information was on an inquiry dating from 1989, the murder of the Dixons as they were walking a cliff-top path in Pembrokeshire. Despite the 8-year time gap, we had 450 calls, and detectives have now had to expand the inquiry team. There were over 300 calls on the child abductions in Buckinghamshire, which started in 1994. 200 calls on the armed robberies in Lancashire and South Yorkshire, and police say they have a lot of good new leads.
There have been 2 other arrests since last month's programme, one for very serious sexual offences and another for aggravated burglaries and indecent assault. The sex attacks on Riddlesdown Common provoked an enormous response, over 650 calls, 250 of which have been prioritised. The murder of Julie Smith in her blazing home in Hull led to several people being interviewed, and the detective in charge has described the appeal as a superb investigative tool which has led to new lines of inquiry. And the armed robbers at a jeweller's in Kingston in Surrey might be in for a bit of a surprise. Over 200 viewers think they can help identify them.
First tonight, a reconstruction of a truly sad and senseless crime in which a young man became a killer. Perhaps the event started as a prank or even in preparation for a robbery. But one day, a month ago, in Kirk Langley outside Derby, things got terribly out of hand.
When we first met, we were 14 years old. We were married at 22, and we've been married for 32 years in January. We just lived for each other. We never went anywhere without each other. We didn't need anyone else. We were just so happy in each other's company.
Morning, Mick. All right.
Mick Pritchard worked as a delivery driver for Business Express.
All over the place. Uttoxeter, Ashbourne. Mind you, there's some lovely places up there.
He'd been with the firm for almost 20 years, mainly delivering parcels for the Littlewoods catalogue.
He loved his driving. He was such a careful driver. He was asked if he'd want to go for promotion, but he turned it down. All he wanted was to be out in the fresh air, doing a job he loved and helping other people.
That day, Mick's deliveries took him across his beloved Derbyshire as usual. At 3:10, he was nearing the end of his deliveries. After Quandon, Mick drove the 4 miles to Kirk Langley. Now with only 10 parcels left to deliver.
I was leaving the school with my son. I got to the end of the road to cross Moor Lane to go up to the Cunnery. I recognised the van. It was the same delivery man that's been coming to the Cunnery. I thought for 1 second that they're going to Clyde, but they didn't.
Nobody cooks puddings much anymore, do they? Oh, it's the catalogue delivery. Oh, go and get the parcel for her, will you?
Hey! Hey! Get out of my van!
Blimey, I think someone's trying to nick his van.
Hey! Hey! Get out of my van! Hey! Get out of my van! Hey!
Mick had got such high principles of high morality, got a very deep resentment for anything that was wrong.
Hey! Get out of the way! Get out of the way! Get out of the way! Oi, come on!
I think he's gone under the van. I'm going to call an ambulance. I could see the delivery driver being dragged underneath the van for about 50 yards down the street.
When the body left the van, I froze.
Mick suffered terrible head injuries and died at the scene.
Initially I thought it was like a road rage between the two van drivers. Once I got onto the A52 and I started to approach the two vans, I realised that they were actually in cahoots with one another.
I was driving along the A52 towards Derby and I came by the bottom of Kirk Langley. There was a Mercedes lorry behind me. I just passed the Little Chef restaurant on the left-hand side, and just after then the white parcel van shot in behind me. I could see in the mirror that the lad was agitated and one thing or another. Then just soon after then, the delivery van overtook me.
Mick's van was abandoned on the outskirts of Kirk Langley. The Bedford rascal turned around and headed back towards the A52.
If he knew that he was going to be late, he always used to ring me. Well, half a state came and there was no phone call, so by this time I was getting really worried. I'm still numb and shocked, and I can't take it in that it's happened. And I'm still thinking that Mick's with me. We just live for each other, and I shall miss him so very, very much. In fact, part of me's died. It really has.
Well, Kelvin Ashby, we can all feel huge sympathy for Hilary and, of course, their only son, Jonathan. The question is, why?
We've no idea, actually. All we know is that these three youths were in the village up to no good, and clearly they've seen the opportunity to steal Mick's van.
And you need to find them, and you have some fairly good descriptions of at least two of them, don't you?
Yes, we have. Certainly the driver, the killer, he was a male about 19 to 20 years, white, 5'9", medium build, with blonde, fair, collar-length hair, but he was described as having a baby face.
And what about the driver of the, we're calling it the Bedford Rascal van, the getaway van? Now, he perhaps didn't actually see what happened, did he?
That's right. Whatever took place there was actually behind them, and they wouldn't know what has taken place. He's described, that's the driver of the Rascal van, as again a white male, 19 to 20 years. We don't know what height he is. He's slim, medium build, with ginger or sandy hair, and the important thing with him is he's got a tooth missing on the upper left side, which is very distinctive, the witnesses tell us.
So you definitely need to hear his version of events.
Yes,
as well.
we do. We would like those two to come forward.
Now, this getaway van that we're mentioning, you haven't tracked it down, have you, yet?
No, we've not. It's still outstanding. All we know about it is it's a florist or sandwich-type van, described as possibly a Bedford Rascal, white in colour, and it's an E prefix.
So, of course, the question is to link men fitting that description with a van like that.
That's right. We seek anybody who's got information that can link these three with the white van.
You've had a number of witnesses come forward already, but you need to hear from more people who witnessed perhaps that erratic belt of driving along the A52.
That's right. In particular, the white Mercedes truck driver, he was cut up by the parcel van, and he might be able to provide detailed information about the other van, which is the important one that we need to trace.
Now, just remember remind us when this happened.
This is about 3:25 p.m. on Wednesday, the 12th of November.
As if anyone needs an incentive, there is a reward here, isn't there?
Yes, there is. Mick's company and this union have put up £10,000 for the conviction of these offenders.
And who are you appealing to?
Well, it's a senseless crime, and I would appeal to anybody, and in particular the criminal fraternity. Somebody out there knows who these people are, and I would ask them to come forward and give us that information.
Kelvin Ashby, thank you very much indeed. Well, it really is important to catch these men. If you know who they are, or if you've heard anything about about who was involved or what they were planning, do please call 0500 600 600. That's our free call number here live to the studio. And there are detectives waiting now at the murder incident room. You can call them on 01332 222 111. That's 01332 222 111.
Now to Gracia Morton, the woman who vanished 5 weeks ago and whose absence is obviously increasingly worrying. She disappeared after dropping her child at school in Notting Hill, West London. Mrs. Morton had been separated and was living with her 4-year-old daughter in nearby Kensington. After leaving the child at school in Oxford Gardens, she seems to have driven round the corner to where she used to live with her husband in St Anne's Road, and her car was found outside the house. But did you see her? She was last seen shortly after 9:30 on Wednesday morning, November the 12th. She's a striking woman, blonde, petite and slim, 40 years old, and she may have been wearing a 3/4 length dark coat with a fur collar. Now, it seems most unlikely, indeed, that Mrs. Morton would abandon her daughter for any reason at all. But, just in case you are watching Gracia, please call us right away. And if you've seen her or saw her back on November the 12th or since, please don't hesitate. 0500 600 600. It's free here to detectives on the case, and they've got colleagues standing by on 0181 246 0731. That's 0181 246 0731. Now, with 2 crimes caught on video, here's Detective Constable Jackie Hames.
Both offences are violent. First to Oxford Circus Underground Station in central London back in October. Watch and you'll see 2 men bump into each other on the stairs. Shortly after this, staff had to intervene to stop a fight. A quarter of an hour later at Finsbury Park, one of the men followed the other 5 stops down the Victoria line, pulled out a knife and tried to stab him in the face. Who is this knifeman? He's in his late 20s, medium height and build, with a round face and has short dark hair. If you know who he is, call us urgently on 0500 600 600, or you can phone the incident room direct on 0171 957 1123. That's 0171 957 1123. The next case was also 2 months ago, this time at Bradford. It's at a Sikh community centre. One man was picked on and seriously injured. Here you can see the victim dancing, and he accidentally bumps into a woman. We won't show what happened after that, but the man ended up in hospital for weeks and can't walk properly even now. This man is being sought. He's known as Gurbaksh Singh and has disappeared. He may have connections with Croydon or London, but wherever he is, please let us know. 0500 600 600 or West Yorkshire Police Direct on 01274 376 885. That's Bradford 376 885.
Next, a child molester, and one who's been trying to entice children during August and October. All the incidents you'll see took place in Hazelmere in Surrey, but the culprit might have tried this on elsewhere. See if there's something about him that's familiar.
Have you seen my sister's black dog?
One afternoon at the end of August, a man persuaded 2 11-year-old girls to go with him to a field that led off their estate.
Buy the bikes and don't lose them.
Across the road was woodland and open countryside.
If you go up there, we'll go down there.
Sorry, I'm not allowed up there.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't think he's here anyway. Listen, let me give you some money for helping out.
But we haven't really helped.
No, go on,
Thanks.
take it.
All right.
This is the Sickle Mill estate, an area the man returned to roughly 6 weeks later. But in the meantime, he was trying it on again on the other side of Hazelmere.
Oh, we're going to be late for rehearsals.
You haven't seen a black dog, have you?
What kind of dog is it?
It's a black Labrador puppy. The lead snapped and it ran off. You wouldn't give us a hand to find it, would you?
Sorry, we can't. We're waiting for our bus.
Okay.
You two still here?
Yeah, Mum. A man's lost his dog and he's gone down there.
Well, you two wait here for your bus and I'll go have a look.
Okay.
Excuse me? Are you the bloke who's lost his dog?
Yeah, that's right. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't, but if I do, how can I contact you?
Details are on the collar.
Have you reported it to the police yet?
No, I haven't yet.
I think you should.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He seemed to know the way towards the police station. Was he a local man, or was this just coincidence? Then the same estate, 2 weeks later.
I was doing my washing and I just happened to look out the window and he just walked past casually. I'd say early 20s, short, dark hair, but it was a checked shirt jacket that stood out.
Then back on Sickle Mill Estate.
He wasn't in a hurry, he was just sauntering. I was a bit suspicious.
I just got the impression he was waiting for someone.
Thought it was a bit odd, but then you forget about these things, don't you?
He was seen by someone else heading down towards King's Road, which would lead him to the station and town centre, and back again to Kilnfield Estate.
Hey, mister! Have you found your dog yet?
No, I haven't yet.
We'll help you look for it. What kind of dog was it?
It's a black Labrador, a little puppy.
We'll give you a hand.
Great.
Which way did you think it went then?
Up there, somewhere.
I just honestly thought they knew him, the way they were laughing and joking with him, going up High Lane Straight. But to look at him, you wouldn't have thought he would have done anybody any harm.
If you two go up there, we'll go up here.
All right then, okay? Have you seen a small black dog, mister?
No, I haven't. If I see it, who shall I contact?
The details are on the collar.
She loves animals.
We might have gone over there.
Okay.
She was probably more concerned that the dog was going to, like, get hurt or get run over, probably. I don't think it even entered her head that this man was going to, like, hurt her.
When she was assaulted, the girl caught a glimpse of a passer-by, white shirt and white hair. Were you near Stokely Hollow, Hazelmere, on Saturday, the 18th of October?
Excuse me, have you seen a man and a girl? They were looking for a dog.
They went down there.
Thank you.
If I could get hold of him, I don't know what I'd do to him, but I just hate him for what he's done. This sort of person doesn't stop at just one child, and next time I wouldn't want it to, like, be worse. I don't want anyone else to go through what we've been through.
I want to see my mum. What's the matter? What's wrong?
The last time he was seen, the man was walking off with his carrier bags.
He's probably in his 20s, medium height, slim build, and quietly spoken. He smokes, perhaps a lot, and had a distinctive padded blue and green check shirt. And what was in his carrier bags? If you have any idea who he is or recognise his approach, please ring detectives here on 0500 600 600. And there are other members of the team standing by on 01252 716 262. That's Farnham, 716 262. And now, Chief Superintendent David Hatcher.
Here's a man who's left behind a trail of unhappiness, frauds, deceptions, thefts and false accounting. His name is Richard Martin Williams, though he sometimes calls himself Lee Johnson. In fact, he's broken bail. And this is believed to be his boyfriend, Philip Green, who we'd like to speak to as well. They're thought to be in Dorset, but ports and airports are also on the lookout. We need you to watch out for them too. 0500 600 600 or call the incident room free on 0800 281 175. That's free phone 0800 281 175. And two other men to watch out for, and if you see them, don't trust them with a penny until you've checked things out. They're brothers. Their real names are Farouk and Anis Nawaz, but they use lots of aliases. They've been known to work in a shop selling mobile phones, but where are they tonight? Be especially on guard if you work in a store and they try to buy something from you on credit. They're wanted on serious charges of deception. If you know them, if you've seen them, do call right away. 0500 600 600 or 01727 796 068. That's St Albans 796 068.
Well, we've had a steady number of calls so far, around 17 calls on the murder of Michael Pritchard. 7 names have been mentioned, a number of calls on the rascal van as well. 1 call on the missing lady, Gracia Morton. A couple of calls on the knife man in Finsbury Park, and 1 call so far on the indecent assault in Hazelmere. Nick.
Well, now a fast and ferocious robbery, a ram raiding attack in which 2 shop workers were almost killed. It happened 2 months ago at the Jewel on the outskirts of Edinburgh. It was 8:30 on the morning of Thursday, October the 9th. We've used actors throughout this reconstruction, and the security routine we show has since been substantially changed.
I was looking forward to work that day. It was going to be very busy. No 2 days are ever the same, and it's a challenge every day.
8:16 a.m. and the car park's almost empty. But whose is this? A red Vauxhall Omega, a rare high-powered saloon.
Hello? Yep. Yeah, okay then. Right. Listen, I'm gonna have to go. See ya.
As I was waiting for my statement to print out from the cash point, I just turned round and I'd heard a car coming into the car park. I found it quite strange because obviously the shop wasn't open.
So here was another red car, one of several that morning. This one, a maroon Cavalier that had been stolen 2 days earlier. It now had false plates copied from a legitimate Vauxhall Cavalier that's unconnected with what happened next. Back in the car park, a sign writer was changing opening times in preparation for the start of 24-hour shopping.
As I was driving out, a second car had drove in. It was a small car and it had 3 people in, and it drove up beside the first car. I thought it was quite strange because no one was getting out of the cars. They did look quite relaxed. I thought maybe they were dropping someone off at work.
I felt that we'd both had a close escape from death or serious injury.
The men I saw running into the shop maybe weren't even in the car in the first place. They may have been stood outside and run in. They were all really calm.
Get down! Get down! Take it easy, mate. Get down! Do what he says. Do exactly what he says.
I thought he was actually going to blow my head off. I actually thought at that stage, you know, why are you going to shoot me, you know? I've done everything you've sort of asked. Why shoot me?
Quick, get help! There's robbers and they've got guns!
Security! Security! To the foyer, right away! Don't move!
The 2 robbers, with their driver, made off in the Cavalier. Calmly, they turned right out of the Asda car park towards the A1 roundabout. But there, the driver seemed to lose his cool. From here, they briefly disappeared. Where did they go?
They had no right to do that to us as ordinary shop workers, just trying to make a decent living. I still feel very angry.
In the next 10 minutes, the Cavalier must have stopped to let out 2 members of the gang. A witness at New Craig Hall saw only 1 man in the vehicle.
I remember looking at the car, I didn't recognise it, and I didn't recognise the chap that was inside it either. He was early to mid-30s. He had sort of olive, darkish complexion. He was quite slim. He had quite a lined, gaunt face. He had short, dark hair, with a receding hairline. I thought he had either a mole or a spot or something on his cheek. I remember thinking it was a nice car and wondering what the chap did. It's quite a small village and we all know each other, and you pretty much know people's cars and who they are and people's faces. He pulled in just next to the skips, about sort of 20 yards from my car, and just parked, and I looked across at him again. There was another car parked directly across from my car. It was a red car that wasn't normally there.
This could have been the Peugeot 106 seen earlier at Asda. Did you notice it that morning? The driver of the Cavalier seemed to amble away. But did he then double back into Klondike Street and drive off in the red Peugeot?
Harry McAdam once inclined to use terms like professional meticulous with this crime, but actually it was bloody reckless as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. These men showed a total disregard for the members of staff safety. As the lady passed the glass windows, as her heel was actually at the windows, the car crashed through. There was a space of time of 1 second.
Now, was that careful planning good timing on their part, or was that just luck?
It was absolute luck.
Just luck they weren't
totally
killed.
Didn't care about their safety.
Now, because of the violence, the extreme violence that was used in this, is a very, very big reward being put up. Tell us about the reward and how people can claim it.
As the superstores and other major stores throughout the country have put up a £30,000 reward, which is a very large reward. They're very keen to have these men arrested because of the violence that was used with this particular incident.
And how do you get the reward? Do you have to help the rest or convict the whole gang?
Any information that's given that culminates in the arrest and conviction of one or any one of these members
even
of the
just
gang.
One of them?
Yes, even just one.
Are they local men? Are they Edinburgh men?
No, the stolen car, the plates on the stolen car were definitely made in a shop in Newcastle in Tyne. And the stolen car had travelled in excess of 300 miles, so we know that it could have travelled from Edinburgh to Newcastle and back again to Edinburgh.
So maybe a Tyneside connection. We've got two good descriptions. One we saw in the film, we'll come back to that in a moment. The day before the robbery, which would have been the 8th of October, somebody else was seen. And explain this, will you?
Yes, we've looked at hundreds of hours of security video, and this particular gentleman is seen at the doors that the car crashed through. He seems to have a piece of paper in his hand, and he looks as though he might be sketching something. He may well be totally innocent, but we'd like to know who he is to eliminate him from the inquiry.
OK, if you know who that is, call us. And then the driver himself. Very good witness, very good description.
Yes, I would like people to cast their minds back to the 9th of October. This man's described as having a distinctive mark or a scar on his left side of his face. It may be an injury, so therefore he may not have it now. So I'd like to hear from anyone who knows of somebody who has a mark, a scar, or a birthmark on that side of his face. It may have cleared up by now, though.
Or if you know him, you could make £30,000 in a single phone call. As you saw, two people missed death, perhaps by inches, when that car came through and broke down the doors. If you know who was involved, if you recognised anything, if you've heard anything, please call us. It's live, the numbers are free, 0500 600 600. That's here to the studio, or you can call the incident room 0131 311 3502. That's Edinburgh, 311 3502. And now, again, here's Detective Constable Jackie Hames.
3 years ago, there was an attempted armed robbery in Worcestershire when gunmen attacking a security van fired at members of the public. Detectives refused to give up on this case and hope that this man may be able to take the inquiry further. He's Neville Charles Lancaster, 33, from Birmingham. He's 6'2", well-built, and if you see him, you'd better not approach him. He might well be dangerous. Instead, please call us, 0500 600 600. There's a warrant out for his arrest, so call the incident room direct on 01527 584 888. That's 01527 584 888. Earlier this year, a man called Michael McGonigal was found shot and seriously injured in a house at Garthamlock in East Glasgow. He died on his way to hospital. Since then, we've been trying to trace this man, Robert McIntosh, and there's a petition warrant out for his arrest. Robert McIntosh is 37, 6 foot tall, with scars on his top lip. If you get a chance to look at his hands, you'll see the top of his right middle finger is missing. On his left hand, he has a tattoo with the letters R-A-B, and there's a scar on his left index finger. 0500 600 600, or call the incident room direct on 0141 532 4300. That's Glasgow, 532 4300.
Now, everyone thinks that they wouldn't get into a car with a stranger, but lots of people do. And in Essex, it seems that one man has been on the prowl for women, trying to coax them into his Ford Fiesta. He seems genuine and he's persuasive, but on at least one occasion, he has raped someone, and other women have been lucky to escape.
I just froze. I just felt, oh, this is terrible. This could have been me. Well, that day I was walking down to the shops. I just had this feeling that someone was watching me. I turned to the side and I noticed the car cruising. The car had passed me several times, and eventually the man asked me where I was going, and I said I was just going to the shops on the corner. He said he would wait for me and would give me a lift back home again. When I came out of the shop, I was a little bit surprised. I didn't think that he was going to wait there at all.
Look, you got all that shopping. Let me give you a lift. It's only a lift.
It was a very hot day. I had lots of shopping, and I just wanted to get back to where I was staying. I thought he was quite genuine.
I am safe getting into your car, aren't I?
Of course you are.
I said it jokingly, but obviously I meant it in my tone of voice as well. Normally I would have said no. He didn't come across in a threatening behaviour, so I felt in total control of the situation.
Would you like to go out for a ride and a drink?
No, thanks. I'm staying with people.
Well, perhaps I could take you out some other time.
He seemed friendly enough, polite. He said he'd been to the gym, and I could smell his aftershave, and he was very, very well groomed. I did notice he had an earring in the left ear, which I thought was slightly out of character for him.
We need to turn left.
He didn't slow down.
I'm expected back. The people I'm staying with will come looking for me if I'm not back.
OK, all right then.
I was getting angry. I told him in an aggressive manner that I just wanted to get back. There was no way that I was going to have it any other way.
2 months later, Tuesday the 5th of August, in nearby Witham.
I'd gone down to see all my friends. It was a short route home, and I knew it pretty well. As I looked up, I noticed that it was an A-Reg dark blue Fiesta. I didn't recognise the car, so I just carried on walking. As I got further up the road, the same car was parked on my side, and there was somebody rummaging around inside the car.
Hello? Well, aren't you going to say hello, then?
Hello?
Don't you recognise me? You remember me from seeing me in town.
No.
I've seen you in town. You're drinking the White Hart.
No, you've got me confused with someone else.
Look, can I take you out for a drink?
I don't know you to go out for a drink.
Aren't I these...
He said his name was Tony, and that he was 21, and he was about 6 foot tall, with short, dark, mousy-coloured hair.
Look, I definitely know you from somewhere. Let me give you a lift home.
I don't know you to get in your car.
It's all right. I'm not going to do anything. You can trust me. Let me give you a lift home.
No.
I can't have a young girl on her own walking home at this time of night.
I started to believe him. I thought he would be an all right bloke to get in the car with to give me a lift home.
OK, then.
Sorry about the mess.
As I got in the car, I noticed there was a lot of newspapers on the floor and Rizzler packets. I noticed a lot of empty cans in the door.
Where are you going? You should have turned down there.
It's all right. We'll keep going for a little drive.
When we missed the turning, I started to get worried that he wasn't going to take me home. I was getting very scared when he started going towards the A12.
Do you like my sunglasses? They're designer ones. They'd normally cost £150, but I got them for 50.
They're all right.
He was picking conversation with me, trying to reassure me that he was all right.
I used to drive a Renault Laguna, but I smashed it up.
I saw the Kelvedon sign. I thought he was going to turn around and come back the other way, but he carried on going into Kelvedon town centre.
Where are we going?
For a drive.
I want to go home. It's late.
As we got further, when the lights stopped, I was getting really scared now because it was all country lanes and there was hardly any houses around, and I didn't know what he was going to do.
I want to go home now.
He wasn't listening to me. He turned off down a little country road and he stopped. And then he tried to cuddle me. When I refused to do what he wanted me to do, he got more forceful. Then he started to get a bit rough with me.
No, get off me.
He grabbed my arm, pushed me sort of backwards into the cornfield.
There was a struggle. The man said he had a knife, then he raped her.
When he drove off, part of me was relieved that he had gone and that I was alive, and a part of me just felt horrible and dirty and disgusted that I got in that car.
The victim there was able to call a friend and subsequently call the police. Steve Reynolds, as well as the two incidents we've seen reconstructed here, you believe that the man may have been linked to two other similar incidents in the area?
Yes, that's correct. The day after the rape, a woman was standing at a bus stop in Western Road, Silver End, a nearby village, where a Ford Fiesta drove past her on 3 occasions, intimidated her so much that she went home and caught a later bus.
Now, you have forensic evidence, so you can eliminate any other suspects, can't you?
Yes, we can. We have that type of evidence, yes.
Now, he was quite chatty, this driver, wasn't he? He gave away quite a bit about himself. What do we know about him, if, of course, he's to be believed?
Yes, we know that his name is Tony. He said that he worked as a plasterer and that he may have worked with his father in the past. He said he smoked cannabis. He said he was 21 years of age and that his birth sign was Aries.
Now, there is an e-fit, which we've seen, I think, which basically gives a look of him and gives a description, which I think the rapist described.
That's right. He's described as a white male, aged in his 20s, 6 foot tall, skinny build, with mousy, very short, straight hair, cut to an inch all over, and he had a quiet, well-spoken voice.
Let's just go back to the other of those incidents that we mentioned. You mentioned the one in Western Road. Where was the other one?
Yes, the second one was 2 weeks later in the Broadway at Silver End. On this occasion, 2 girls were approached by a man in a blue Fiesta car. He asked them for a lift, but they declined.
Of course, he may have sold the Fiesta on by now.
That's quite right, and he may have been quite innocent and may not be our rapist. So if it isn't the rapist, we'd obviously like this person to come forward so that we can eliminate him.
Do you think he's local?
I do think he's local. He gave a lot of information about the area. He knew people in the area, he knew pubs, and he certainly knew the geography of the area.
And this was an A-Reg diesel blue Ford Fiesta.
An A-Reg diesel blue Ford Fiesta with a bee sting area on it.
Thank you. Well, do please call if you know anything about these matters. This man obviously must be stopped. The lines are free here on 0500 600 600, or ring the incident room at Essex Police Headquarters in Chelmsford on 01245 452 555. That's Chelmsford 452 555. Now, incidentally, if you find yourself in someone's car and you're frightened that things are getting out of hand, obviously the sooner you act the better. Ask the driver to stop and let you out, and if necessary, open the door and shout for help, attract attention. Don't go along with it, and better still, of course, whatever the temptation, just don't take a lift from strangers.
It's almost certainly coincidence, but in the same area, a 26-year-old woman has gone missing, and the circumstances are extremely worrying, to say the least. She's Jimena Arensberg-Calles, a Spanish au pair who vanished 3 weeks ago while heading from Mersey Road in Colchester to a friend's house in Manor Road, about a mile away. Now, if you know Jimena, or if you've seen her since Tuesday the 25th of November, please let us know, and do so urgently. Until she's found, there are obviously growing concerns for her safety. She's petite, she's 5'2", and was wearing black wellies, white jeans, and an anorak, and she was carrying a rucksack. If you know anything about her or her disappearance, please call us free and straight away, 0500 600 600. Alternatively, try 01 206 762 212. That's Colchester, 762 212. Now here again is Chief Superintendent David Hatcher.
Now, I've got a man I'd like you to look at, but this time it's a bystander we're after. This is the aftermath of a police chase on the A40 down to Wood Lane, West London, following a robbery. Several men have been arrested by an armed response unit, but who's this? He's quite unconnected with the robbery, but he is an important witness. If it was you at the end of September, or if you can identify him, please give us a call. 0500 600 600 here, or the robbery squad at Marylebone Police Station on 0171 321 9321. That's 0171 321 9321.
Just in the last few moments, we've had two names, and it's the same name, come up for the Edinburgh armed robbery. An enormous number of names, and particularly on the Hazelmere indecent assault. That looks very strong indeed. But now, before we close, to treasure. And some of it might be yours. Here are items that have been stolen from all around the country, and here to go through this month's Aladdin's Cave is Eric Knowles.
Well, we're praying for some divine intervention on the cave this evening because we've got quite a quantity of church furniture, including this trunk, which is studded with the date 1657, and it's also initialed EH. But from the 15th century, what about this? It's a sacrament box, and what's more, it's in walnut. But more of that good old British oak in a pair of chairs that we've got here. And look at those covers. Those cushions are actually made from an altar cloth. The question is, did it come from your church? But there again, if you've got a liking for a pair of truly foul paintings, feast your eyes on these farmyard scenes because they're foul in the nicest sense of the word. Hens and chicks and a couple of ducks thrown in for good measure. But if the question is, how much is that doggy on the table? Well, if it's Meissen and it's 18th century and it's a little pug dog, the question is loads of money. And look at the cover, exquisitely painted, and so too is the interior. There again, you may be into bird watching. If that's the case, what about birds in silver? Pair of cranes, translucent enamels in amber and turquoise. There again, maybe you've got a liking for this cavalier-type character, a sort of do-it-yourself, Charles I. But it's that time of the year when the ladies want to put on a bit of glitter, and there must be a very sad lady out there who's missing her diamond and emerald bracelet. And Mr. and Mrs. Coblenza, do you remember staying in room 711? Because I think I've got your cameo brooch. But they do say that diamonds are a girl's best friend, and I think it's quite right when it's applied to this bow brooch. Just look at the stone in the centre. It's enormous. Personally, I'll stick to the odd bow tie. But if you play your cards right tonight, you could end up reclaiming your Dutch marquetry gaming table. Here it is, and what have we got here? Dorset County Arts and Crafts Association member. Well, that should narrow it down a bit, shouldn't you think?
Just a bit. And if there's anything you recognise, well, call in on 01903 231 821. That's 01903 231 821. Or you can call the studio here, of course, 0500 600 600.
Our lines are open here in the studio for over an hour and a half, and we'll be taking calls until midnight. You'll see other numbers on the screen in a moment. They're also listed on CFAX on page 627. Now, if you're online, you can email us at crimewatchuk at the BBC. That's cwuk@bbc.co.uk. And if you've any information on a crime we haven't covered, try Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. And we'll be back with Crime Watch Update later at 11:45 in England and Northern Ireland and at 12:15 in Wales and Scotland. And we hope that we've more to tell you then. But if you can't stay up that late, do join us next month. We're back on Tuesday, January the 27th.
Meanwhile, you might like to see some figures. Of our 125 cases so far, that's up to tonight, this year, 43 have already had arrests as a direct result of Crime Watch viewers. That's just over a third, and of course it's early days yet. A further 9 cases have made arrests already independently. And incidentally, crime, at least most of it, tends to fall away over Christmas anyway, so don't be put off your celebrations by anything that we've shown tonight. Have a great holiday, a happy new year, and whatever happens, don't have nightmares, sleep well. Good night.
Good night.